Friends, fun, and gaming. We've been up to it all.
We'll talk about that on today's Board Games and Coffee. So let's grab a cup and roll. Welcome to Wisco Dice. Hey yo folks, I am your host, Conesy with the Most, and I am joined by...
Hey, I'm Suzanne.
And today it's Board Games and Coffee.
Yes.
So let us know what you're drinking in the comments below. We really appreciate that. What are we talking about today, Suzanne?
Well, today we are talking about friends, fun, and games that we have been having while we drink some Arriba coffee.
Arriba!
So,
From Just Coffee Co-op, right?
yep.
We don't always remember to mention what we're drinking, but hey, we remembered it this time.
Yes. Good thing we're not sponsored by them at all.
Yeah, good thing there's no sponsorship. By the way, make sure you, if you haven't already, what should folks do?
They should smash that like button and subscribe so you get to be notified every time we have new content out.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about board game get-togethers and what we've been doing with all of our friends, because we've had quite a few board game get-togethers.
Yes, actually started on Thursday.
Yeah,
with National Board Game Day.
National Board Game Day was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you to those that joined us.
I hope everyone had a good time on National Board Game Day and got to play some of their favorite games. Those are always... It's not a big holiday that shows up on everybody's calendar, but I think if you were paying attention to us, we were extra excited to celebrate it. So what did we do?
Yeah, well, we on our Discord channel, we hopped into a room and Conesy and I were painting some board game figures, some miniatures for board games, and we're there chatting with those of you who jumped on and chatted board games with us. I had a great time.
So thanks so much for jumping on and joining us. We loved having the quick chat, and it definitely helped make that hour fly by. What were you working on? What were you painting?
I was painting the miniatures for Adrenaline.
Which is it's like a third-person shooter, but on board game format, really, right?
Yes, but not violent. At least I don't think it's violent. It's robots. You're robots attacking other robots
and then they respawn on the board after you hit them with chainsaws and laser beams. So I feel like there's a pretty violent game.
Okay, you don't actually see blood and gore in the game.
That is true. It is definitely.
So it's a game that's a favorite of ours. Doesn't get to table too often because you need a minimum of 3 players for it. Mm-hmm. But I thought, hey, it'd be fun to try and paint these miniatures, and I think
it'll help encourage it to get to the table when you have that done.
I got to show it off.
Exactly. So you've been talking about. I said. I'll paint up Mansions of Madness models, and I'll keep working on that project. And you were like, no. You should paint Dawn of Ulos. So I started working on the Dawn of Ulos models.
Yes.
That they're really the base camp figures, which is they're just a bust and then for 2 terrain types on. Well, they're not the gods. They're the actual camps for the factions. That's
right, the factions. Sorry.
So
you're the gods in that game.
So I got 2 of them finished during the hour, and I got another 2 almost finished. And at this point, I have 6 of the 10 factions done. So just a few more to finish up, which I haven't started putting. I just got primed, and then well, we could actually play it out because you only need 5 factions.
That's true.
So
this is a game by Thunderworks Games that I just adore. I love it. I love teaching it. The hardest thing when I'm teaching it is trying to explain how the terrain types for the factions correspond to what you have on the board.
Right.
And so I think this will just make it...
Yeah, I mean, it's on
new players just pop and...
It's on the faction boards and stuff like that for each... Or on the faction cards. But, yeah, it's going to be exceptionally useful. It is modeled on the faction base. Like, there's 3 hexes. And that first the center hex is always the bust of the faction, what the iconic faction looks like if it's goblins or gnolls or goblins or ratmen or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 hexes are the 2 terrain types that are associated with that faction. And so, by having it painted up, that will visually make it look better and be able to be more easily recognized, I think, by the players. So,
Yes.
and it doesn't take you don't have to be an expert painter to do these kind of things. I find oftentimes with board game models, I do really just what I consider base coats and a wash. And people who play these games with us later are like, wow, that looks so amazing.
So we're gonna have to later on compare his base coat and wash to my base coat and wash.
You're still learning, but
I've only less than a year. I've been
yeah,
models,
and you didn't get a good primer coat on your models before you started. In fact, I haven't looked at them since you worked on them, but I think we should probably take them out, get a good primer coat on them, and then have you start working on them.
We'll see. The paint-on primer did not adhere to the plastic for the models very well.
You use brush. Well, you use brush
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paint-on, brush on, I guess.
Which is very, very thin.
Yes. So, but anyway, yeah. So what else? So that was our Thursday night, and then
it
Friday.
Was Friday.
And Friday we got to do something new and exciting to us.
Yeah, we got to go over to new to us. First time we've been there.
Friend's house.
New friend's house to play games. I met them
actually at Midwinter Gaming Convention in January, and we realized that we met in Milwaukee, but we live very close here.
Yep.
So
yeah, very close, like within 10 minutes.
Yes. So finally we were able to connect and have a great gaming evening over there, and play. The theme was Disney themed games, and this included Marvel and Star Wars with it. So we got to play some games that we don't have a large Disney. We have some Marvel and Star Wars, but
I mean, I think we had quite a few of the games that were there in some form.
We just don't.
We didn't have necessarily the versions of those games.
Yeah.
Like they had Star Wars Villainous.
Yes.
Which we have both.
We have them.
We have the other two versions of. We have the Disney Villainous or like the the traditional Disney character Villainous, and then the Marvel Villainous. Yes. But we don't have the Star Wars one. We were like, okay, the game doesn't get to the table. This is the third version of it. And as much as we love Star Wars, we didn't end up buying it yet.
Yeah.
But we had a really good time playing Star Wars Villainous.
I never played Villainous with 4 players before either. So that was a new experience.
This is my second time playing with a larger player count, and I really enjoy the game. It is I find it's a much better game with more players.
I win more when it's a 2-player game, though.
I think there's more. I think there's some of those factions that just because of how involved it is sometimes to solve, to do all of the push the button things that they have to do to be able to win. Yeah. You need a little bit longer drawn out game, and a 4-player game definitely adds that.
Yeah, Who were you in the game?
So I was Asajj Ventress, who is. I mean, it's kind of gray if she's really a villain or not. And some of the newer Star Wars stuff has some some of the characters definitely have that gray feeling around them, characters like Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane, definitely. Are they really truly she did convert to the dark side, but then near the end, and not giving anything away too much, hopefully. There's she starts helping the heroes and stuff. Yes, it's been out for a while, so it's grayish that she's a real villain, but yeah.
That was cool, and I played Boba Fett, who is, I guess, one of my favorite Star Wars villains. I guess if you can have a favorite that way. And I was told he was one of the more complex ones to play, but I had a blast playing him. My card draw did not start out very well, but
yeah, you drew a lot of cards. You went through your deck 2 or 3 times.
Yes, yeah, and it was I would totally play that character again. And then after that, the other group that was there was played Space Mountain, and Disney Yahtzee. Mm-hmm. And I'm forgetting they had another game that they also played.
Yeah, they chucked through quite a few games over there to our 2.
That's right.
But then we got Dice Throne Marvel Edition out with Thor and Loki, Scarlet Witch, and Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yes.
So
it was still Spider-Man. So
So that was
That's
fun
my
too.
level of it.
We
Yeah.
played it as teams, which we hadn't played
I
a
had never
4-player
played that
teams
way.
game of Dice Throne before, but we have Dice Throne, just not the Marvel version of it, right? So these are games that we've played before.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't have those versions of them, so it was really cool to experience different versions, different characters in both games and play it. And of course, we reigned victorious.
You
I
did.
was victorious in the first in the
And the first
Disney,
game in
Villainous, but then in Dice
we were a
Throne
team,
we were a team.
so there I
and
won. But his
the
character
mighty
did
Thor did all of the work as expected.
I was Spider-Man. I was a supporting character in there. I
Silly
screwed
mortals.
stuff up.
Silly mortals.
I tried to help and screwed stuff up.
I did. It was cool to see the characters. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
had
what
a
makes
couple.
it
You
fun.
had a couple of chances to really shine, and then you would like, oh hey, you're gonna do two die 6 total damage, and you rolled a 5 and then a snake eyes on that damage. The 2 times you pulled off like one of your really good attacks.
Yeah.
So it was almost comical at that point on
It was like
Spidey.
Spider-Man.
Spidey just messing things up.
So that was our Friday night.
Yeah, so that was Friday. And then yesterday we went over to Matt, the Ghost Walker, from the audio show and occasionally on the video channel. Whatever his housewarming / game day kind of party thing that he had yesterday, and played some games. Actually, I didn't play a whole lot of games. You actually played more games than I did, but it was more like it was very social and a lot of chit chat and hanging
game
out.
Nights were very social.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a lot like we have a lot of game nights where it's very intense. On our Thursday night
it depends
games
on the style
night
of
too.
games, right?
Yeah.
So the games were a little bit lighter.
We have I guess you call them party games. So
Yeah,
Clover.
well, yeah. So
Clover and Medium is what I
Medium,
played
yeah.
yesterday.
We did play So Clover twice, and that was a cool
Yeah,
little
and Medium
game.
twice, yeah.
It was a cool little game. I'm glad I got to play it. I could see why people are excited about it. I don't know. Like I got enough word games already in our library. I don't think I'm super excited to run out and buy it. And I didn't. The fact that there wasn't like there's no single victor for it, which is I think really cool.
It's a cooperative party game,
but it's cooperative. But you're just tallying up a score, right? That's all it really is.
But it's still fun. And I guess my question is, those of you who've played So Clover, how do you keep the little square cards on the clover while you're writing your words down?
That was like, especially playing it with 6 players. Like, and keeping somebody from seeing it, and like you're trying to tilt it up at an angle so they can't see it while you're writing on the thing with your wet erase marker, and the cards are just sliding out, and you're like, what position were they in?
I took pictures of mine so that I can remember when it got around to me.
Yeah.
Because like I realized, I could have these words in different ways.
I see why it was fun. Like people enjoy the game. absolutely see why.
I think it was great for the group we had there. It was great for the environment that we had. Like it was just very casual. You can sit and talk and joke and everything. Not a lot of learning time. And it's like for families or playing with groups of people that maybe aren't as much gamers. Both So Clover and Medium are great for that.
I mean, So Clover is great because since there isn't really true winner, and you're just kind of playing to see about a score, and it plays really fast. You're as a group.
2 rounds to try and beat our previous score as a group.
Likely, 30 minutes of total real time play, if that.
Yeah, it just depends if people sit there and think too much. I will say the second game, some people took my approach of first word that pops in your head when you see those two.
Yeah.
Better.
But it's great for that. Like if you have a family or a group of gamers where it's like super competitive about winning, and people get bent out of shape about that. Like it's this. Okay, we're gonna play something where we're gonna try hard to get the best score possible as a group, but it really like at the end of the day, it's the experience of a game like that, and not the score that really matters.
Yeah, and I'll say for those of you who haven't played Medium is I would say it's semi-cooperative because you have to cooperate with the 2 people on either side of you to try and think of the same word a little bit, but you still are collecting your own points. There is still one ultimate winner, which was not me. I was close.
Well, your score is, how is that working? Because I haven't played Medium in a while.
Because between the 2 of us, you put a card down and then I put a card down, we just think of the word, that goes with both of those words. So, like, if you had green and I had felt, we would go 3, 2, 1, pool table. And I don't know, there's my word. And then if we got the same word and it was our first try, then we each take a number 1 scoring token, which has a hidden amount of points, either 5 or 6 on the back of it. If we get it wrong, if you said golf
right.
and I said pool table, then we have to
go again
with something
and you
between
have
the two of those.
scoring chits. That's how. And then at the end of the game,
and you're doing it with the person on your left, and then you're also doing it with the person on your right. So,
but it's ultimately it's your little pile of scoring chits, which are secret, and you reveal at the end of the game. Got it. I remember that now.
So now everyone here knows how to play medium. Impromptu to play.
It's a cool little game. I remember hearing about it on podcasts.
Yeah, we have it.
A year or two ago, and really thought like, oh, this would be a really cool game for our gaming group, and apparently I wasn't wrong because we didn't bring any games to either of these get-togethers. So this is a game that we played with Matt and his wife, and then they liked it well enough that they
went and
got it. So that's always a good compliment when you play or introduce somebody to a game, and then they immediately need to go out and get it.
Yeah, and their family enjoys it. So
absolutely. So. Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time, and we had ate some good food at both places. They were everybody was great hosts, and put on a wonderful time for us, and we got to get some gaming in. So that was awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking, hopefully, we'll get some other gaming in, the two of us, and
if yard work doesn't take over our lives, but
we have a nice April weekend in Wisconsin. But
plus side is it's going to be rainy this coming week, so there'll be some time for games after work, I think.
Yes, and I do want to say one other thing is I just want to wish our gaming friend Molly a happy birthday later this week too. So
all right, well, happy birthday, Molly.
You won't be gaming with us because you'll be celebrating, I know. So.
All right. Well.
All right.
So I think that covers all the gaming we've done in the last couple of days, and this is just another way we talk about, where you can play games. You don't always have to have the games. We talked about this when how do we afford all these games we get to play? Well, this is one of those ways we do. We have friends. And when you go to your friends, you catch that video by the way up there. But when you have friends, you can always go to their houses and play their games and let them buy them for you. All right, with that, go ahead, and my cup is empty. Let's run dry.
I'm still working my way through, but I'll sit here and enjoy this while the rest of you go and enjoy your games.
Yeah, and your cup of coffee. Thanks for joining us. Hey there, it's Conesy. Thank you so much for watching. We put out videos weekly here at Wisco Dice. Check out our channel for more great videos, and don't forget to subscribe. We also have more great content on our website at wiscodice.com. Of course, we do this all for you, the viewers. So please like the video if you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.